Hey, Joyce here. I just finished the video on the definition of core and how to get in your core and what core is and all that kind of good stuff. And I thought to be fair, I wanted to do another video. This is maybe a little more advanced talking about core. And the name of the topic is being in your core is not always pretty. Um, when you think about what does core look like, it's about awareness. It's about consciousness. There's a peacefulness inside, but what does the outside look like? This isn't about putting on a mask of peacefulness or strength or it's not fake. This is truly being in your core. So what core looks like sometimes is really beautiful and peaceful, etc. And sometimes it isn't. The other thing is core looks different for each one of the profiles. So a charismatic leader in their core can look incredibly different than an emotional intelligence specialist in their core or a creative idealist in their core. So I want to dig into this a little bit because what happens is I'm not trying to paint a picture that my day-to-day work is all pretty and lovely and we all, sing kumbaya and have roses and sunshine. We are responsible for about 70% of the company's revenue. So we have to meet our goals. So if someone's not meeting their goal, I have to deal with that. So for example, if a salesperson isn't meeting their goals, I'm going to sit down with them. And again, I'm going to be in my core. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to ask some really tough questions. So for example, if they're not meeting their monthly sales goal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the funnel and I'm going to say, okay, well, are you meeting the preliminary things? Are you making cold calls? Are you, there's all the things that as you go up the funnel that you should be doing within each account so that eventually it turns into a sale. Relationship building and, all that kind of good stuff. So it's not that I'm always this happy sunshine person. I would prefer that. But if I have to sit down and have a meeting about someone not making goals, I can still be in my core. I can be tough and in my core. So I want to give some examples. At the school where I teach, the guy that started the school and runs the school, he has an archetype that he calls the Pokinator. Basically, he can see if you're stuck and you don't want to go to the next level, and he'll poke you. Now, you could look at that and say, he shouldn't be poking people. That's not nice. That's not in their core. But if he's in his core and he sees you in your core and he feels he could push you a little bit farther and you would be able to grow, then isn't poking someone being in your core? So it may not look pretty, but it is. And I have a great example. Being from the Boston area, I'm a Patriots fan. Love them, hate them. They're successful. And I wanted to bring out two of the characters, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So Tom Brady, he is more the classic in your core. He has a calmness about him. He's very driven. He can be behind by 3 touchdowns and he just keeps going, going, going. He stays in his core and he does his job. But let's look at Bill Belichick. He would not be known for being a smiley guy. But is he in his core? He's wildly successful. He's at the absolute top of his field. So say I'm a player and he's in his core and he sees me and thinks that he can push me a little bit further. And he pushes and he screams and he yells and he disciplines and he does all this stuff and I become this superstar. Is he in his core? So I guess the point of all of this is that being in your core is not always being sunshine and lollipops and roses. I would say Bill Belichick's in his core. Not all the time. Tom Brady's not in his core. I'm not in my core all the time. Nobody is. But I would say when he's out there on that field, even though you never see a smile and he's not this happy sunshine guy, he's in his core. And he is bringing out the brilliance that he sees in another person. And that's kind of a really interesting way to look at it because then that allows you in your daily life, it doesn't have to be pretty. Core is not always pretty. So look at these examples of people who are in their core doing crazy things, these incredible achievements, and they may not always look pretty. And give yourself permission to not always look pretty all the time. The way you know is you know you're in your core. You know that the words coming out of your mouth are for the best of you and the other person. You know you can feel it. Once you're really used to being in your core, you can feel it. And so don't worry that it looks pretty. No, don't worry at all. Just be in your core and it will naturally come from you. So